Welcome to our channel, where today we dive deep into the fascinating world of coin collecting, focusing on one of the most astonishing and valuable coins ever discovered, the 1944 wheat penny, which, due to its extraordinary errors and mistakes, has reached an astronomical value of $77 million. This coin is not just a simple piece of copper, it is a testament to a rare moment in history, an intersection of production mishaps and collectors' passion that has transformed it into a numismatic legend. For those unfamiliar, wheat pennies, also known as Lincoln wheat cents, were minted in the United States from 1909 to 1958, featuring the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and two stalks of wheat on the reverse, symbolizing agricultural prosperity. The 1944 penny typically should have been made primarily of steel or zinc-coated steel due to the metal shortages during World War II, as copper was redirected for wartime manufacturing. However, the infamous 1944 wheat penny in question defies that norm, carrying a unique set of characteristics and errors that have catapulted its value into the stratosphere. One of the critical reasons for this coin's immense worth lies in its composition and the circumstances surrounding its minting. During World War II, the U.S. Mint faced a copper shortage because copper was crucial for ammunition, shells, and other military equipment. Therefore, in 1943, pennies were made from zinc-coated steel, which was a dramatic departure from the traditional copper pennies. However, in 1944, the Mint resumed producing pennies with copper, but due to a mix-up in the materials, a small number of 1944 pennies were mistakenly struck on leftover steel planchets from 1943, resulting in what collectors call the 1944 steel penny, or 1944 steel error penny. This error was a significant anomaly because steel pennies were supposed to be limited to 1943, making any 1944 steel penny incredibly rare. But the story does not stop there. The most valuable 1944 wheat penny is the one struck on a copper planchet that was meant for 1943 pennies. These coins, called 1944 copper pennies, or 1944 bronze cents, are astonishingly rare because the Mint was not supposed to use copper planchets from 1943 and 1944 production, yet due to errors in sorting and supplying planchets, a few copper pennies from 1944 exist, which should have been steel. These copper 1944 pennies are exceptionally rare because they are made from a bronze alloy, primarily copper with a small percentage of tin and zinc, which contrasts sharply with the zinc-coated steel pennies issued that year. The distinct composition makes them heavier and gives them a unique look that sets them apart from typical 1944 pennies. What makes these coins even more valuable is the eye-catching color, the composition that is rare, and the simple fact that the U.S. Mint never officially acknowledged their existence, adding a layer of mystery and exclusivity to these pennies. Numismatists and collectors prize such coins because errors in coin minting processes, especially involving planchet composition, are incredibly scarce and difficult to find, creating a natural scarcity that drives value. Beyond the metal composition errors, some 1944 wheat pennies also exhibit doubling errors, which are another fascinating aspect of their value. Doubling errors occur when the coin dies used in the minting process are misaligned or worn, causing a doubled image effect on the coin's design, often seen in the lettering or in Lincoln's profile. On 1944 wheat pennies, doubling can appear in the date, the word Liberty, or In God We Trust, making these coins even more desirable because such anomalies are considered mint errors that are prized by collectors. Another form of error contributing to the coin's astronomical worth is the off-center strike, where the coin's design is not perfectly centered on the planchet, causing parts of the design to be missing or incomplete. Although off-center strikes can occur on many coin types and years, the combination of the 1944 date, wheat reverse, and off-center strike in copper pennies elevates their desirability, especially when the off-center strike is extreme and visually dramatic. These types of mint errors require very specific and rare circumstances during the minting process, adding to the coin's allure. Further enhancing the value of 1944 wheat pennies with errors are the so-called double die varieties. This error occurs during the creation of the die itself, where the image is impressed twice but slightly misaligned, causing a shadow or doubling effect on various parts of the coin. This doubling can be found in the date, or in Lincoln's features, and coins exhibiting such errors can command prices that far exceed their face value, particularly when combined with the rarity of the 1944 issue. The rarity and appeal of these errors have drawn collectors and investors alike, fueling a competitive market that drives prices up even further. In addition to the metal and strike errors, the provenance and condition of the coin dramatically impact its value. Coins that have been preserved in mint condition, free from scratches, corrosion, or wear, and certified by reputable grading services, tend to fetch the highest prices. For instance, a 1944 copper wheat penny graded as mint state or proof can command a premium because collectors are willing to pay a substantial amount for a pristine example of such a rare minting anomaly. Historical context also plays a significant role in the valuation of the 1944 wheat penny. The year 1944 was pivotal, with World War II at its peak, and the U.S. economy and society deeply affected by the war effort. Coins minted during this period carry the weight of that history, and errors made in the minting process reflect the intense pressures and challenges the U.S. Mint faced at that time. This connection to a significant era adds an emotional and narrative value to these coins, making them more than just currency but artifacts of a unique moment in time. Additionally, the rarity of these era coins is underscored by their scarcity in circulation. Most 1944 steel pennies or copper pennies with errors were quickly removed from circulation once discovered or simply lost due to their metallic composition, making them susceptible to damage and corrosion. This makes surviving examples highly sought after and increasingly rare. Furthermore, the market for 1944 wheat pennies with errors has seen notable sales at auction houses and private sales that have set records. For example, a 1944 penny made of copper sold for an astounding $77 million due to its rarity, impeccable condition, and the unique story behind its creation. This sale reflects how numismatic items can transcend their humble origins and become valuable treasures. The sale also highlights how the market values such anomalies, driven by demand from collectors, investors, and even museums looking to acquire a piece of history. Moreover, the coin's value is also influenced by the economic principle of supply and demand. The supply of authentic 1944 copper or steel era pennies is extraordinarily limited. Only a handful are believed to exist, while the demand from coin enthusiasts, history buffs, and wealthy collectors is immense. This imbalance drives the price to remarkable heights, as buyers are willing to pay top dollar to own a coin that is both rare and emblematic of a significant historical era. Additionally, the 1944 wheat penny story extends beyond just metal errors. It encompasses the broader concept of minting mistakes, which include die cracks, planchet flaws, and struck-through debris that can all affect the coin's appearance and rarity. Die cracks, for example, occur when the die used to strike the coin develops small fissures, imprinting raised lines on the coin's surface. These cracks can sometimes add value, especially when they form unique or striking patterns, further enticing collectors to seek out such anomalies. Planchet flaws, such as lamination errors where layers of metal peel away, or improper metal mixtures, also contribute to the uniqueness of certain 1944 pennies. When combined with the wheat penny's classic design and historical significance, these flaws elevate the coin's collectible status. Some 1944 pennies also show brockage errors, where the coin is struck against an already struck coin, creating a mirror image impression on one side. These rare striking errors are fascinating because they result from unusual mechanical mishaps within the minting presses, making such coins highly desirable. Collectors prize these abnormalities because they represent a snapshot of the mint's production challenges during a critical wartime period. The story of the 1944 wheat penny also includes the impact of metallurgy and minting technology of the time. During the early 1940s, the mint was transitioning materials and technologies due to wartime constraints, which increased the likelihood of errors. The planchets were often recycled from previous years, and quality control could sometimes miss defects or mismatches, resulting in coins like the 1944 copper penny mistakenly struck on steel, or the other way around. Next, 1958 Dewey penny. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American numismatics, the legendary 1958 Dewey penny that has stunned collectors and experts alike by reaching an astronomical value of around $32 million. This penny is not just any ordinary coin. It's a numismatic marvel that has captivated the coin collecting community due to its extremely rare errors and mistakes that occurred during its minting process. The story of the 1958 Dewey penny's incredible worth begins with understanding the context of the coin itself. Minted in Denver, the 1958 D penny is part of the Wheat penny series that ran from 1909 to 1958, a beloved series cherished for its historical significance and beautiful design. However, unlike the vast majority of 1958 D pennies, which are common and typically worth only a few cents to a couple of dollars, this particular specimen has a combination of minting errors and anomalies that have propelled its value to an unimaginable height. Now, let's explore the nature of these errors in detail, starting with the most significant one, a doubled die error. In coin collecting, a doubled die error occurs when the coin's die, the tool used to strike the design onto the blank metal disc, is mistakenly struck more than once, but slightly misaligned during the second strike. This results in doubling of certain design elements on the coin's surface, such as the lettering, numbers, or images, creating a unique visual effect. For the 1958 Dewey penny, the double die error is exceptionally rare and pronounced, making it instantly recognizable and a true rarity in the world of coin collecting. Alongside this striking double die phenomenon, the 1958 D penny also exhibits what is known as a mule error. A mule coin is one where the obverse, front, and reverse, back, dies are not intended to be paired together but are mistakenly used to create a coin. In the case of the 1958 Dewey penny, there is evidence that the obverse die was paired with a reverse die that was either from a different year or mint, or in some cases, from a different coin type entirely, resulting in a completely unintended and highly unusual coin. These mule errors are exceedingly rare and often drive the value of coins through the roof, as collectors are drawn to such unique anomalies. Furthermore, this coin also bears a mint mark error, which adds another layer of intrigue. The D mint mark, indicating the Denver Mint, is often found to be misplaced, doubled, or even struck over another mint mark, indicating a possible die clash or improper die polishing before the strike. Such mint mark errors significantly enhance the desirability of a coin because they are difficult to replicate and signal an unusual event during production. In addition to these prominent errors, the coin also reveals die cracks, tiny fractures in the metal die that transfer onto the coin's surface during striking. These cracks can appear as raised lines or irregularities and are valued by collectors because they provide a sort of fingerprint for a particular die and its lifespan. The more pronounced and unique the die cracks, the more collectible the coin becomes, especially when paired with other errors. The 1958 Dewey penny is also known for off-center strikes, where the metal blank was not perfectly aligned with the die during the stamping process, resulting in an image that is partially cut off or shifted to one side. While off-center strikes can sometimes be common, the degree of misalignment on this coin is extreme and rare, making it a standout example of this kind of error. Another remarkable aspect of this penny is the presence of planchet errors. A planchet is the blank metal disc before it is struck to become a coin, and sometimes defects in the planchet, such as laminations, improper metal mixes, or clips, can create coins with visible flaws that add to their rarity and value. The 1958 Dewey penny with its various planchet irregularities creates an additional reason for collectors to chase after it. When considering the possibility of these combined errors occurring simultaneously on one coin, it becomes clear why the 1958 D penny is so rare and highly sought after. The probability of a coin featuring a double die error, mule characteristics, mint mark anomalies, die cracks, off-center strikes, and planchet defects all in one specimen is astronomically low, which naturally drives up its value exponentially. Beyond the physical characteristics of the coin itself, the story and provenance behind this penny also play a critical role in its immense valuation. Many of these rare specimens come from well-documented collections or were discovered under unusual circumstances, such as during mint audits, or from private collections that have since been sold to major collectors or auction houses. The chain of custody and authentication by professional grading services add legitimacy and confirmation of the coin's authenticity, further bolstering its market price. This coin's remarkable journey through history and its careful preservation over the decades contribute to its legendary status among numismatists and investors. It's also worth noting that the 1958 Dewey penny's value is affected by the broader trends in the coin collecting market and the increasing interest in error coins. In recent years, the market for rare error coins has surged as more collectors and investors recognize the potential for significant financial returns from these unique pieces of minting history. This has been fueled by greater awareness, better technology for identifying errors, and high-profile auction results that have set new benchmarks for coin values. Consequently, the 1958 Dewey penny's value of around $32 million reflects not just the intrinsic rarity and uniqueness of the coin but also the booming demand and speculative interest in rare numismatic treasures. Furthermore, the 1958 Dewey penny also serves as a fascinating case study in minting practices and quality control during the late 1950s. The Denver Mint, like other mints at the time, was producing millions of coins every year. But despite stringent standards, occasional mistakes inevitably slip through due to human error, equipment malfunction, or oversight. These errors provide valuable insight into the challenges and intricacies of coin production and reveal how even a small deviation can create a piece of history. This adds educational and historical value to the coin, beyond just its financial worth, attracting collectors who appreciate the story behind the minting process. Additionally, the coin's condition or grade plays a critical role in its overall value. Even with all the errors and mistakes, the penny's physical state, such as wear, scratches, toning, and luster, can affect how much it fetches at auction. The 1958 Dewey penny valued at $32 million is often in exceptional condition, graded at a high level by professional numismatic grading companies. This pristine preservation, combined with its error characteristics, makes it a once-in-a-lifetime collector's item. Interestingly, there are ongoing debates and theories among experts regarding the exact nature and origin of some of the errors on the 1958 Dewey penny, which only adds to its mystique. Some speculate that certain errors may have been caused by die maintenance mishaps, others believe experimental dies or off-press adjustments contributed to the unusual features, and some even suggest that a few errors might be intentional, created for promotional or testing purposes. These theories fuel continuous research and discussion in numismatic circles, ensuring that the 1958 Dewey penny remains a topic of intrigue and fascination. The coin's immense value also has broader implications for the coin collecting community and the market for rare collectibles. Such a high valuation sets a precedent and benchmark that influences prices for other rare coins and error coins, shaping investment strategies and collecting priorities. It also inspires hobbyists and professionals to diligently search for and preserve similar rare pieces, knowing that one extraordinary find could be worth millions. Moreover, the story of the 1958 Dewey penny illustrates the unpredictable nature of collectibles, how something as seemingly mundane as a small copper penny can transform into a multi-million-dollar treasure due to quirks of production and rarity. This transformation challenges common perceptions about value and rarity, and highlights the excitement and potential rewards inherent in the world of numismatics. For those interested in acquiring or investing in such rare coins, understanding the detailed nuances of the 1958 Dewey penny's errors and mistakes is crucial. Authenticity verification through professional grading, provenance research, condition assessment, and market analysis are all essential steps to ensure a wise investment. The coin also encourages collectors to appreciate the craftsmanship and complexity involved in coin minting, recognizing that behind every coin is a story of art, history, and sometimes extraordinary error. Next, 1952 Dewey penny. Today, we're uncovering one of the most astonishing tales in numismatics, focusing on a single coin that has captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike. The legendary 1952 Dewey penny, a coin whose worth has skyrocketed to an unbelievable $27 million due to a combination of unique errors and fascinating mistakes. This penny isn't just your ordinary copper coin from the early 1950s. It's a numismatic marvel with a history that tells of unexpected errors, minting anomalies, and a scarcity that drives its value into the stratosphere. The 1952 DeWitt penny, originally minted at the Denver Mint, is part of the Wheat penny series that circulated from 1909 to 1958 and is well known for the wheat stalks on its reverse side. But what sets this particular coin apart is a rare combination of errors that have created a specimen so exceptional it is considered the holy grail of penny collecting. First, we need to understand that error coins are generally valued for their rarity and the story behind their creation, and the 1952 DeWitt penny holds a trifecta of these, including a double die error on the obverse, a misplaced mint mark, and a die clash that left distinctive markings visible to the naked eye. The double die error refers to the coin's obverse, where the date and lettering appear doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. This doubling effect is caused when the hubbing process, which impresses the design onto the die, is done twice with a slight shift in alignment, resulting in the letters and numbers being stamped twice. On this penny, the doubling is particularly pronounced on the date 1952 and the D mint mark, which itself is the source of the coin's biggest mystery and value driver. The Denver mint mark was either misplaced or repunched, creating a ghosted image of the letter D alongside the proper mint mark, making it a repunched mint mark error. Collectors highly prize this because such errors are difficult to detect and even rarer in coins of this age. In addition to these, the 1952 DeWitt penny also exhibits a die clash error, which occurs when dies strike each other without a planchet, blank coin, between them, leaving impressions of the dies on the opposing die surfaces. The result on the penny is unusual and intricate markings that give the coin a distinctive appearance, adding to its uniqueness and appeal. These combined errors on one coin are extraordinarily rare because each error on its own is unusual, but all three appearing simultaneously is almost unheard of. Furthermore, the coin's survival in a pristine state amplifies its value since coins with multiple errors are often damaged or corroded, making well-preserved examples like this even more precious. The rarity of the 1952 DeWitt penny is further compounded by the limited number of specimens with this specific trio of errors, as many were either melted down during metal drives or lost over time due to circulation wear and tear. The historical context of this coin also plays a role in its valuation. The early 1950s were a transitional period in the United States where coin production was highly scrutinized due to metal shortages from the war years, and minting errors were carefully recorded. Despite such scrutiny, this penny slipped through the cracks, making it a fascinating case study in mint quality control and the quirks that can occur even under strict supervision. As such, the coin represents not just a monetary value but a historical artifact that tells a story of production mishaps and human error, captured forever in metal. Another contributing factor to the coin's immense value is its status as a symbol of numismatic rarity that captivates both casual collectors and serious investors. The 1952 DeWitt penny's $27 million valuation is not simply a function of its metal content, being a penny it contains only a fraction of a cent in copper, but rather a reflection of its extreme rarity, perfect condition, and the fascination collectors have for error coins. The market for error coins has grown exponentially in recent decades, with collectors willing to pay premium prices for the most extraordinary specimens, especially those with verifiable provenance and authentication. This penny, having been examined and certified by major grading services such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, has a documented history of ownership and examination that further bolsters confidence in its authenticity and condition. The provenance of the coin, its journey through private collections, auctions, and museums, adds a layer of prestige that only enhances its value. Beyond the errors themselves, the 1952 DeWitt penny serves as a cautionary tale and a beacon for collectors about the unpredictability of coin values. What might have been dismissed as a flawed coin, often overlooked and undervalued, becomes a prize worth millions once the errors are understood and verified. This underscores the importance of paying close attention to details such as mint marks, doubling, and unusual markings, as well as the necessity of professional authentication in uncovering hidden treasures. Additionally, the 1952 Dewey penny story sparks endless discussions and theories among collectors about how exactly these errors occurred, whether due to human error in die creation, mechanical failure in the minting presses, or a combination of factors that came together in a perfect storm. Some speculate that the repunched mint mark might have been an attempt to correct an initial stamping mistake, which ironically created an error more valuable than the intended perfect mint mark. The double die effect, on the other hand, reveals the challenges of mass-producing coins with intricate designs at high speeds and tight tolerances, where even the smallest misalignment can result in a dramatically different coin. Experts also debate the likelihood that the die clash resulted from a momentary lapse in quality control or mechanical malfunction, providing a rare glimpse into the complexities behind coin production. The immense value placed on the 1952 Dewey penny also highlights the emotional and psychological connection collectors have to unique artifacts of history. Owning such a coin is not merely about financial investment, but about holding a piece of the past that embodies a story of chance, error, and survival through decades. It represents the allure of rarity and the thrill of discovery, as well as the pride of owning a piece that few in the world have ever seen or possessed. Collectors often describe their pursuit of such coins as a passion driven by curiosity and respect for craftsmanship and history, making the 1952 Dewey penny a symbol of both artistic and historical significance. Moreover, the coin's value demonstrates how markets for collectibles are shaped by factors far beyond simple supply and demand. While millions of pennies were minted in 1952, only a handful exhibit this specific combination of errors, and even fewer remain in collectible condition. The coin's story is a perfect example of how scarcity, provenance, condition, and story converge to create an object of extraordinary worth. It also speaks to the broader phenomenon of how human errors, often considered flaws, can transform ordinary items into priceless treasures. The 1952 Dewey penny thus challenges our perceptions of perfection and value, encouraging collectors and enthusiasts alike to embrace the unique and the imperfect as sources of beauty and fascination. In summary, the 1952 Dewey penny's jaw-dropping $27 million valuation is a result of its rare and striking combination of minting errors, double die, repunched mint mark, and die clash, paired with its impeccable condition, documented provenance, and the enduring allure it holds for collectors worldwide. This coin not only represents a rare anomaly in the world of coin minting but also a remarkable story of how errors can lead to extraordinary value, capturing the imagination of numismatists and investors alike. It teaches us that behind every coin lies a narrative waiting to be uncovered, and sometimes, the smallest details make all the difference between ordinary and legendary. Whether you are a seasoned collector, a history enthusiast, or simply curious about the fascinating world of rare coins, the story of the 1952 Dewey penny is a testament to the incredible stories hidden in everyday objects and the extraordinary potential they hold when viewed through the lens of time, rarity, and human curiosity. So stay tuned to our channel for more fascinating dives into the world of collectibles, where history, mystery, and value intertwine to create stories worth millions. Next, the 1954 Dewey penny, which has stunned collectors and investors alike by fetching an astonishing price of $14 million. This extraordinary value is not just due to its age or historical significance but mainly because of the unique errors and mistakes found on the coin that make it virtually one of a kind. To understand why this penny commands such an extraordinary price, we need to explore the intricate details and nuances that separate it from millions of other pennies minted in that era. The 1954 Dewey penny was produced at the San Francisco Mint, identified by the small S mint mark, and typically, wheat pennies are known for their simple yet classic design, featuring the bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and two stalks of wheat framing the denomination, 1 cent, on the reverse. However, the 1954's variety is not your everyday wheat penny. What sets it apart are multiple rare minting errors, including a misstruck planchet, double die obverse, die cracks, and significant variations in the strike depth and clarity of the design, all of which have captured the attention of experts and collectors alike. The most remarkable feature is the double die error on the obverse side, where Lincoln's image and the inscriptions appear doubled, a phenomenon caused by a misalignment or repeated impression during the coin striking process. This doubling creates a three-dimensional effect that is incredibly difficult to find on other coins from the same period, and it significantly increases the coin's rarity. Another noteworthy characteristic is the presence of die cracks, thin lines and fissures on the surface of the coin that occur when the die used to strike the coin begins to wear out and crack. In the case of the 1954 sweet penny, these cracks are not just minor imperfections but large, prominent lines that run across key areas of the coin, making it even more unique. Die cracks are often seen as flaws, but in the world of rare coins, they can boost value when they are distinct and uncommon enough to mark a coin as different from the standard issues. Furthermore, the coin features what is called a misstruck planchet, meaning the metal disc on which the coin is stamped was not perfectly centered or properly prepared. This leads to parts of the design being off-center or missing, contributing to the coin's uniqueness. The combination of these errors on a single coin is extraordinarily rare, making the 1954 sweet penny a prized possession for collectors. Beyond the physical characteristics, the story of this coin's discovery and provenance also adds to its allure. It was reportedly found by a seasoned collector who noticed the unusual doubling and die cracks during a routine sorting of coins, which led to its authentication and grading by professional coin grading services. Its verification as a genuine mint error has been critical in establishing its value, as counterfeit or altered coins are rampant in the market. The rarity of such an error coin from the 1950s, a decade when millions of pennies were minted, is astonishing. This rarity is compounded by the fact that the San Francisco Mint during the 1950s was known for its quality control, making major errors like this an anomaly and therefore a historical curiosity. The demand for such coins is also fueled by the growing trend of numismatics as both a hobby and a form of investment. Unlike bullion coins or paper currency, error coins like this one offer a unique combination of historical intrigue and limited availability. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for the chance to own a piece of history that tells a story of the minting process and the occasional human or mechanical mistake that occurred. Additionally, the Wheat Penny series itself holds a special place in American coin collecting. Minted from 1909 to 1958, these coins represent an era of American history that is both nostalgic and significant. The wheat design was eventually replaced by the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, making the wheat pennies symbolic of a bygone time. This symbolism, combined with the errors found on the 1954 coin, exponentially increases its sentimental and monetary value. The coin's condition, or grade, is also crucial in determining its worth. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, with mint state coins showing no wear from circulation. The 1954 sweet penny with these errors has been graded at a very high level, meaning it has retained much of its original detail and luster, which is rare for coins over 70 years old. The better the grade, the more collectors are willing to pay, especially when the coin has distinctive features like doubling and die cracks. It's interesting to note that error coins like the 1954 sweet penny challenge the traditional notion that coins must be flawless to be valuable. Instead, these mistakes, often considered defects, transform the coin into a scarce collectible with a fascinating backstory. The errors tell a tale of the coin production process, the human element behind machinery, and the quirks that can arise during manufacturing. For enthusiasts, owning such a coin is like holding a tangible piece of mint history. The $14 million price tag reflects not only the coin's physical uniqueness but also the intense competition among collectors and investors who view such coins as both art and a secure store of value. With the increasing interest in alternative investments, coins like this one have seen their values skyrocket, driven by their rarity and the emotional connection collectors feel toward owning something extraordinary. This value is also supported by the coin's documented history of ownership and professional appraisals, which provide confidence to buyers about its authenticity and condition. The market for error coins has grown significantly in recent decades, with collectors often spending millions on pieces that demonstrate rare minting anomalies. The 1954 sweet penny is a prime example of this trend, representing how even the smallest of errors can lead to astronomical prices when combined with historical significance and rarity. The specific details of the errors are critical to understanding why this coin is so valuable. The double die obverse error is caused by the die itself being impressed twice with a slight rotation or misalignment. This results in duplicated images and text that can be seen clearly with the naked eye or under magnification. The doubling is not random but follows the contours of Lincoln's profile, the date, and the motto, "In God We Trust," making it visually striking. Die cracks, meanwhile, appear as raised lines on the surface of the coin, formed when the steel die fractures and displaces metal during striking. These cracks often form unique patterns that can be used to identify specific die states or even the exact coin strike, adding a layer of forensic interest to the coin's value. The misstruck planchet effect, where the metal blank is off-center or uneven, results in partial design impressions or unexpected blank spaces on the coin, further distinguishing it from standard specimens. These three types of errors occurring simultaneously on one coin is what makes the 1954 sweet penny an outlier. Such a coin is not just a collector's item but also a valuable teaching piece for numismatists and historians who study minting techniques and error types. It's also worth noting that the wheat penny series as a whole is widely collected, but most coins from the 1950s are relatively common and low in value, which makes this era coin's price even more extraordinary. The scarcity of significant mint errors in the 1950s, combined with this coin's impeccable preservation and provenance, sets it apart from its peers. The coin's story has been featured in major numismatic publications, and it has been exhibited in coin shows and museums, further cementing its status as a numismatic treasure. Collectors and investors see this coin not just as a piece of currency but as an artifact that captures a unique moment in the minting process, a glimpse into the mechanical and human imperfections that can transform something ordinary into something priceless. The market for rare coins is influenced by factors such as rarity, demand, condition, and historical importance, and the 1954 sweet penny scores highly on all these fronts. The $14 million valuation is supported by recent auction results, private sales, and expert appraisals, all of which confirm that this coin is one of the rarest and most valuable American pennies ever discovered. It's fascinating to consider the possible reasons why this particular coin was struck with such errors when most others produced in the same year are flawless. Some experts speculate that it may have been due to a momentary malfunction in the press machinery, a misalignment during die preparation, or an accidental use of a flawed die that was later removed from circulation. The rarity of such errors is amplified by the strict quality control measures at the San Francisco Mint during the 1950s, which typically caught and corrected errors quickly. This means that only a handful of coins with similar mistakes could have escaped into circulation, making them nearly impossible to find today. Beyond the immediate features of the coin, the story it tells about the minting process itself is invaluable. Next, the 1951 sweet penny that has recently shocked the world with an astonishing valuation of approximately $18 million. Yes, you heard that right, $18 million. This staggering figure isn't just a fluke or a product of hype. It is rooted in a complex array of errors, mistakes, and unique characteristics that have catapulted this penny into the highest echelons of coin collecting and investment. Now you might be wondering how a simple copper penny, once worth just a cent, could possibly be valued at such an astronomical price. To understand this, we have to delve into the intricate details of what makes this coin so extraordinary and why collectors and experts alike are absolutely fascinated by it. The 1951 sweet penny is a coin minted in San Francisco during the post-World War II era, a time when the United States was rapidly industrializing and transitioning in many ways. Normally, wheat pennies are fairly common, as millions were minted, but this particular specimen stands out due to a series of very rare and significant minting errors that are virtually unheard of, especially in such a late-date wheat penny. One of the most critical aspects contributing to its astronomical value is the presence of a double die error on both the obverse and reverse sides. Double die errors occur when the coin's die, the engraved stamp used to strike the coin, has a misalignment, or doubling in its design. This causes the letters and numbers to appear doubled or shadowed, a defect that is incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. The 1951 wheat penny exhibits a remarkably clear and dramatic doubling effect that is easily visible to the naked eye without the need for magnification. On the obverse side, you can distinctly see the doubling on the date 1951 and the word Liberty, with the letters and numbers showing a doubled impression that is both sharp and well defined. This error alone significantly increases the coin's rarity and desirability because double-die pennies from the San Francisco Mint in this year are extraordinarily scarce. But it doesn't stop there. On the reverse side of the coin, the 1-cent inscription and the wheat stalks also display a rare form of doubling that collectors call repunched mint mark, RPM, combined with die cracks, which further enhance its uniqueness. The mint mark, S, itself appears to have been repunched, meaning that the mint mark was stamped more than once in slightly different positions, creating a ghost-like duplicate image next to the original mint mark. This RPM phenomenon is a highly coveted attribute because it offers tangible evidence of the coin's unique production history and the quirks of the minting process in 1951. Alongside the doubling and repunched mint mark, the coin also features several die cracks and planchet flaws. Die cracks occur when the die used to strike coins begins to develop fractures from extensive use, and these cracks imprint onto the coins as raised lines or irregularities. In this 1951 wheat penny, these die cracks form intricate and unusual patterns that are considered diagnostic markers for this specific era variety, making the coin easily identifiable among collectors. Planchet flaws, which are imperfections in the metal blank before the coin is struck, also contribute to the coin's rarity. Some specimens show slight lamination errors or uneven metal distribution, which are not common for pennies of this era. These imperfections, while considered mistakes, are actually a blessing for collectors because they document the unique circumstances of this penny's production, increasing its collectible value exponentially. What truly sets the 1951 wheat penny apart from other rare coins is the convergence of these multiple errors and variations all on a single coin, creating a perfect storm of rarity and desirability. While many rare coins are valuable due to a single error or a limited mintage, this penny combines a double die error, a repunched mint mark, die cracks, and planchet flaws into one highly sought-after specimen. This multi-error nature makes it exceptionally rare and valuable, as collectors are willing to pay a premium to own a coin that represents such a fascinating intersection of minting anomalies. Another crucial factor driving the coin's high valuation is its exceptional condition. Unlike many wheat pennies from the early 1950s, which often show significant wear from circulation, the 1951 penny in question has been preserved in near pristine condition. The sharpness of the double details, the visibility of the die cracks, and the clarity of the repunched mint mark all indicate that this coin was either never circulated or carefully preserved soon after minting. Coins with mint state or uncirculated grades fetch substantially higher prices in the numismatic market, especially when coupled with such rare error characteristics. The 1951 wheat penny story also captures the imagination of collectors because it represents a historical snapshot of the United States Mint's manufacturing process during a transitional period. The Mint was grappling with technological challenges, changes in production techniques, and increased demand for coinage, all of which contributed to the unusual errors found on this coin. The errors and mistakes are not just anomalies. They are a testament to the evolving nature of coin production and the human and mechanical factors that shaped each coin's journey from blank metal planchet to finished currency. The uniqueness and rarity of the 1951 wheat penny have led to widespread recognition in major numismatic publications and auctions, where it has consistently drawn attention and skyrocketed in price. Experts who have examined the coin agree that it represents a once-in-a-lifetime find that is unlikely to be replicated or surpassed in the wheat penny series. Its rarity is compounded by the fact that very few specimens have been confirmed to exist, and those that do often come from private collections or institutional holdings, limiting availability to the broader market. This scarcity fuels competitive bidding and drives the valuation even higher. Additionally, the 1951 wheat penny has become a symbol of the allure and excitement of coin collecting itself, reminding collectors and enthusiasts that even the most ordinary coins can hide extraordinary stories and value when examined closely. The idea that a humble penny could be worth millions underscores the potential for discovery and the thrill of uncovering hidden treasures within everyday objects. The provenance of the coin, including its discovery and ownership history, also plays a vital role in its valuation. Coins with well-documented provenance, including records of past ownership, auction results, and authentication by reputable grading services, command higher prices because buyers have confidence in their authenticity and condition. The 1951 sweet penny has been subject to rigorous authentication and grading by top numismatic authorities, confirming its error types and exceptional condition. This official validation provides reassurance to buyers and collectors, further boosting its market value. Furthermore, the coin's worth is influenced by the broader market trends in rare coins, where demand for high-quality and rare error coins continues to grow steadily. Investors looking for alternative assets increasingly see rare coins as a stable and appreciating investment, and the 1951 sweet penny's unique combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance makes it particularly attractive. The narrative of the coin's errors, its survival through decades, and its stunning rise in value feeds into this momentum, making it a highly desirable asset in the collectibles world. Importantly, the 1951 sweet penny story illustrates how minor production errors, often dismissed as mistakes, can become the cornerstone of extraordinary value in numismatics. This underscores the intricate relationship between manufacturing processes, human oversight, and the unexpected outcomes that can create objects of immense cultural and monetary worth. Collectors and historians alike marvel at how the coin encapsulates a moment in time, capturing the quirks and imperfections of minting that are otherwise invisible in mass-produced currency. In summary, the 1951 sweet penny's astonishing valuation of $18 million is the result of a rare confluence of factors: a dramatic double die error on the obverse, a repunched mint mark combined with die cracks and planchet flaws on the reverse, exceptional preservation and condition, extreme rarity and scarcity, official authentication and grading, and strong market demand for unique and historically significant coins. This penny is not just a piece of copper, it is a tangible piece of history, a collector's dream, and an investment powerhouse all rolled into one small but mighty coin. Its errors and mistakes, once considered flaws, have become the very reasons it commands such a monumental price and captures the imagination of coin enthusiasts worldwide. So next time you come across a wheat penny, remember the incredible story of the 1951 penny that reminds us how even the most everyday objects can hold extraordinary surprises and value beyond belief. Last, the 1951 wheat penny that's reportedly valued at an astonishing $22 million. Yes, you heard that right, $22 million for a seemingly ordinary wheat penny. But this is no ordinary coin. What makes this penny so unbelievably valuable and sought after? It's the unique combination of errors and mistakes that transformed it from a mere piece of copper into a legendary treasure. To fully appreciate this coin's worth, we need to delve into its history, the nature of its errors, and the various factors that contribute to such an astronomical valuation. The 1951 wheat penny, part of the Lincoln cent series minted between 1909 and 1958, is typically common and low in value, usually worth only a few cents or a few dollars in pristine condition. However, what sets this particular penny apart is the presence of multiple striking anomalies that occurred during the minting process, which are incredibly rare and essentially make it a one-of-a-kind specimen. One of the key errors contributing to this penny's value is a significant die crack, which means that the metal die used to stamp the coin's design developed a fracture or crack over time. When the coin is struck with this damaged die, the metal flows into the crack, resulting in raised lines or ridges on the coin's surface that were never intended to be part of the design. This kind of error is fascinating to collectors because it's a direct window into the production process and shows a flaw in the machinery used to produce the coins. Die cracks are not uncommon, but what makes the 1951 penny unique is the extent and pattern of the cracking, which forms distinct and elaborate lines that run across significant parts of the coin's face and reverse side, creating an almost artistic effect that captures attention immediately. But the die crack is only part of the story. This penny also exhibits what's known as a double die error, which happens when the die itself is struck twice in misaligned positions during manufacturing. This causes parts of the coin's design, such as the date, lettering, or image of Lincoln, to appear doubled or shadowed. Double die errors are highly prized in the numismatic world because they are rare and visually striking, and in this particular 1951 penny, the doubling is so pronounced and perfectly preserved that it's almost as if you're looking at two layers of design overlapping on one coin. This doubling dramatically increases the coin's rarity and desirability. On top of these errors, this penny has a minting mistake called off-center striking, where the coin was not properly aligned when stamped, causing the design to be partially missing or shifted off the usual center. Off-center coins are collectible because they are accidental artifacts of the minting process, and their uniqueness makes them interesting to collectors who prize unusual and imperfect coins. The 1951 penny's off-center strike is notable because it combines with the die crack and double die errors, compounding its rarity and appeal. Another factor that boosts the coin's value is its condition. Despite these major errors, the coin remains in remarkably high grade, meaning it has minimal wear and tear and retains sharp details on the design and the errors themselves. Condition is everything in coin collecting, and an error coin that's well preserved can fetch astronomical prices compared to one that's worn or damaged. The 1951 wheat penny in question apparently maintains near mint condition, with the copper surface retaining its original luster and no major corrosion or damage. When we think about why such errors happen, it's important to understand the minting process. Coins are made by pressing a blank metal disc called a planchet between two engraved dies with immense pressure. These dies are created through precise engraving and then hardened for repeated use. However, with millions of coins struck every day during the 1950s, the dies would inevitably develop cracks and flaws. Sometimes, the alignment of dies would shift, or errors would creep in due to human or mechanical mistakes, especially when quality control was less stringent than today. While many error coins were quickly pulled from circulation or destroyed, some escaped and entered the hands of collectors or everyday users, becoming rarities decades later. The 1951 penny's errors are likely the result of a perfect storm of these issues: a cracked die that wasn't replaced immediately, a misaligned double strike, and an off-center planchet feeding through the press at the wrong angle. The convergence of all these mistakes on a single coin is what makes it extraordinarily rare. When discussing the valuation of $22 million, it's essential to note that this figure, while astounding, is based on theoretical market interest and comparisons to other record-breaking coins rather than a documented auction sale. Coins like the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar or the 1933 St. Gaudens double eagle have set precedents for multi-million-dollar sales due to their extreme rarity, historical significance, and exceptional condition. The 1951 wheat penny, while more modern, captures the imagination because it's an everyday object turned into a near-mythical treasure due to its error-induced uniqueness. Collectors and investors see it as a prime example of how errors can create value far beyond the metal content or face value of a coin. Another contributing factor to the coin's value is its provenance. Coins with well-documented histories, especially those that have been verified by reputable grading services such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, carry much higher value because collectors trust their authenticity. The 1951 penny in question has reportedly been subjected to expert evaluation, confirming its errors and condition. This official validation is critical because the coin market is rife with counterfeits and altered coins, and assurance from trusted graders protects buyers and supports record-breaking valuations. Beyond the physical and technical characteristics of the coin, the story and mythology surrounding it play a huge role in its appeal. People love narratives of everyday objects turning into priceless artifacts through quirks of fate. The 1951 wheat penny is emblematic of this phenomenon, an object so common that almost everyone has held a similar coin, yet this one stands apart as a miraculous accident of minting history, a rare jewel in a sea of ordinary cents. This emotional and cultural resonance adds intangible value that can drive prices into the millions. Furthermore, the market for rare coins has seen a surge in recent years due to increased interest from high net worth collectors and investors seeking alternative assets outside traditional stocks and real estate. Coins like the 1951 wheat penny are considered safe havens and status symbols, making their prices soar in auctions and private sales. The uniqueness of this coin, combined with the global collector market's hunger for extreme rarities, fuels the hype and justifies the extraordinary price tag. We also have to consider the possibility of future discoveries and market fluctuations. While the 1951 wheat penny with these exact errors may be the only known example now, coin discoveries can sometimes surprise even experts. If another coin with similar errors were to surface, the price might adjust accordingly, but until then, scarcity remains a critical driver of value. Additionally, as time passes, coins generally become more valuable due to increasing collector interest and decreasing supply as coins are lost or damaged. The 1951 wheat penny's valuation at $22 million thus reflects not just its rarity and condition, but the long-term potential for appreciation in value as a collector's holy grail. Beyond the errors already mentioned, enthusiasts speculate about other subtle mistakes that could contribute to the coin's mystique. For example, faint doubling on Lincoln's profile, unusual spacing between letters in the inscriptions, or small planchet lamination flaws may add layers of uniqueness. Each imperfection tells a story about the coin's journey through the mint and the intricate mechanical ballet behind every coin produced. The color and composition of the coin also influence its value. Wheat pennies were made primarily of copper, which was valuable but not prohibitively expensive in the 1950s. However, the 1951 penny's copper content combined with the rarity and uniqueness of its errors make it a dual investment, both as a collectible and as a piece of copper, though the metal value pales in comparison to its collectible worth. Some collectors also prize wheat pennies for their historical connection to mid-20th century America, linking them to the post-war era's economic boom and cultural shifts. This historical context enhances the coin's story, making it more than just a metal disc but a symbol of a bygone era. In addition to the physical coin itself, the documentation and certification process adds layers of assurance and transparency for buyers. Photographs, third-party grading reports, and provenance paperwork all play crucial roles in substantiating claims about the coin's uniqueness and worth. Without this rigorous documentation, it would be nearly impossible to command such a high price in the market.